Hi, welcome to another solo episode of Something New is Possible. Thank you for being here today. I'm about to go to India, and I thought it was very apropos that I would do a solo episode before I go, and I will do one when I get back and reflecting on my journey and all the experiences that I had. So, before I begin, I want to say that this episode is really about self compassion, taking care of yourself, and learning. And even though I have talked about this a lot, I want to talk about it again because I keep finding new shades, new things that maybe I didn't see before or I didn't do it that way, and having new insights that I really want to share with you. So, first, what you need to know is that I'm going to India and I'm going for 2.5 weeks, and I haven't been on vacation like this without my computer, without doing any coaching. It's been 11 years, and maybe I've been off for 3, 4 days, maybe even a week, but usually I have work, even if it's 1 or 2 or 3 coaching calls or sessions a day. So I am nervous about it, but yet I can really value this opportunity of totally unplugging. I don't want to have to worry about at 3 o'clock. I have to get up and have a coaching call, or I have to worry about the time difference. I just want to be really present with the things that are happening for me while I'm in India, and I want to immerse myself into my own practice. We're going to be doing yoga. We're going to be doing breath work. I'm going to be wanting to do meditation and remove any outside distractions as much as possible. And for me, this is really one of the ways to practice self-compassion. And it's showing up in a few different ways. One is like I'm having compassion because there's this part of me that says, no, take your computer. It's okay. It's okay for you to work every once in a while. I can have compassion for her, this habitual part that doesn't really know how to function differently and always has to produce and do. And there's compassion for the part of me that wants to be off, that wants to be on vacation and doesn't want to have to work. And as I am extending compassion to myself and I'm being kind and considerate, it just makes everything so much easier. So that's one. The second thing I want to share with you that I think sheds a whole different light onto this is that recently, and I wrote about this in my newsletter, and if you don't get the newsletter, go to clearintentions.net and sign up for it. And while I'm doing a plug, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and share it with other people because I want this to reach a lot of people. So the second thing is last week, as I was coming home from my netball practice, there was a gang shooting that happened right in front of the entrance to my community. And I missed about 10 minutes. And it really shook me to my core. I'm okay with it now. But what happened is I think at a traffic light, 3 young men were gunned down and the driver collided with the bus. And there were lots of police, lots of ambulances, and we couldn't get home. So there was 11:15 at night, and the entrance to my community was blocked. And it's Hebrew, and I feel vulnerable because I don't read as well and I don't speak as well. This is not my language. It's not English. It's not German. And I'm talking to the police. When can we? How can we? No. And so I felt vulnerable, and I didn't know how I was going to get home. And at the same time, I was shocked, and at the same time, I was sad. So there were all these different things that were happening to me at the same time, and I felt overwhelmed. And as I was talking with some people about it, I got a lot of "Hey, what's the problem? Just get over it," kind of response. And my response was, "But I'm from Germany. This is not what happens, where I'm from." Even though when I was living in Pittsburgh and I was living in a neighborhood that was close enough to when these things do happen, I don't know, it wasn't that close, and it wasn't about I couldn't get home. So I practiced self-compassion here because the day afterwards, I didn't sleep well at night. I decided to go for a walk and just to take some time out, be with myself, and allow myself to cry and talk about it, and really block out how people thought I should respond, or even perhaps a little bit of how I thought I should respond and how quickly I should get over it. But just to be with myself, to check in and see what do I need, and allow myself just to be in the space of being vulnerable and open and just to see what shows up. So it's a week later, and obviously I'm still talking about it, and there's some part of me that's not finished with it. And to that part as well, I can bring self compassion. So, what is it all about, this self compassion? Because I think it's important to take a moment to talk about it, because often it gets confused with being soft and wishy washy and not being productive. And for me, it's not at all what self compassion is all about. So, self compassion for me is just to bring that loving kindness to myself and giving me the space to be however I need to be in that moment and to make room so that I can process my difficult emotions. Just to create a container for myself, a space where I can just be. If I want to cry, I cry. If I want to whine, I whine. If I want to do all of the above, if I want to be angry, if I want to be whatever, I can do that. And that there is a place and time where I can have that spotlight and just process it and be however I want to be. And the purpose for me is that if I do it in a deliberate, kind of intentional way, then it's not going to come out sideways. It's not going to, I'm going to not stop talking about it all the time. But then that's my place and time where I will process whatever I need to process, letting go, doing forgiveness, sometimes get a deeper understanding of what it is I need. There's many things that happened to me lately in my life that's kind of new for me and different. And as things are expanding in a good way, I am noticing that some old things are showing up, some old patterns. And even with that, I can be compassionate. I don't have to be super strong. I don't have to have it figured out. I can just be with myself. And as I'm realizing these things, I can communicate with myself or the people that are involved and then say, listen, I think this is what I need, or I'm not clear, or I don't know, or can I whine for a minute? And then see how that is being received, and also to look what I need in order to resolve it for myself. So self-compassion is a wonderful opportunity to bring that loving that you would have for a newborn, or that loving that you have for some person that you love who's vulnerable, to yourself. So I was holding a baby the other night, and the baby is now 4 months old, and we don't have judgment about if the baby poops in the diaper or if the baby cries. We do whatever we can in order to comfort the baby and to bring our loving kindness, joy, to this infant. And so it's like, that's the energy that you bring to yourself when you're full of compassion for yourself. And that in and of itself is super healing and effective in that sense, because now when I look at effectiveness, the moment that you have actually then processed yourself is allowing you or opening that opportunity that you can go back to being productive. If I take my emotional, whiny, complicated, sad, upset, overwhelmed kind of self from task to task, I'm not going to be as sharp. I'm not going to be as creative. I don't have insights, because in the back of my consciousness, probably my limbic system, the part of the emotions, or even my survival is in gear, the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, I'm occupied. Okay, so which means I have to use more energy in order to get the things done than if I would just take some time to process the emotion, neutralize it, clear it, and then move myself back into boom, 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 boom. Like so. What I invite you to do is to create a space for yourself. And maybe you do this every day. Maybe that's too much. Maybe you do it once a week, where you schedule it in your calendar, and where you write and say, hi, Barbara, this is my moment to be self-compassionate for myself. I will bring something that I'm unfinished with, and I will allow myself the space to process it. I will check in what's going on. I will see what's being triggered. I will see who's related to. I will do maybe forgiveness. I might do some writing about it, free-form writing, writing and burning. I might have a conversation with people that are involved and do whatever I need to do. And while I'm doing it, I'm holding myself in the space. I'm complete love, empathy, and everything that I need so that I can feel good about receiving myself. So this is what I invite you to do. Really, it can take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, because I know a lot of you are super busy. And it could be about anything. It could be about, I'm not happy where I live, or I'm not happy about this relationship, or it could be I'm having an issue with my boss, or I'm gotten triggered over here. So it doesn't really matter what you're using or what upset Usually it's upset because we don't really need to be self-compassionate about good things. It's usually about something that's upsetting us, that you bring that tool, that time, that space to what's going on with you, and then to see how you feel before and how you feel afterwards. So that's my invitation to you. And I wish for you a powerful experience, but I also invite you to write and tell me how that was for you. And if by any chance you are finding yourself in a repetitive pattern, that you say, oh, I have this issue with self-compassion, it's the same kind of issue, and the same kind of issue, consider giving me a call, because you know that this is what I do. I can really, really, really help you to look at those reoccurring areas, the reoccurring triggers, the things that don't make you feel good, look deeper and neutralize them, and so that they basically disappear. So this is my whole reason for existence. This is what I'm called to do in the world, to help us, myself, the world, the community, the country, to really bring that opportunity of healing and neutralization to us, and so that we can be happier and more peaceful all the way around. Self-compassion, practice with yourself, make space, and see what happens and how you can actually lift yourself up and make yourself feel better. Thank you so much for listening. Please like my channel, subscribe to it, comment on this video, visit clearintentions.net, sign up for a new emotional coaching session, and have a wonderful week and day. Take care.